It's your boy Big Sprint, always watching, always listening, and he tuned in to Fire Rants. And today we're chilling on the streets of downtown Fredericksburg. And Pedro Blanco had came to me and called me last night and said, "Hey, I need you to work on something with me." And I'm very passionate about this topic. So today we're downtown and we're trying to give back and help out as much as we could, even though we all need help ourselves. And this is a very tragic thing that has hit not only the Fredericksburg area, but the whole world. And I'd probably be in the same situation if it wasn't for some of the help that I receive. I'm literally a blink away. So Pedro came up with this idea that we want to speak to people about their situations and stuff, just ask them their backgrounds, and also hand out a few jackets and probably a few dollars if we can at the time, but we might not be able to, but a few jackets because it's getting cold. And I remember last year, 15 people died in Chicago in one night because of it, and it's just something that's really, really sick. A place so rich could be also so broke at the same time when it comes to being concerned and not doing it for the looks, but actually doing it because people care. He was back there.
Oh, you're not looking for him.
And I wouldn't say them, but looking for fellow people just like you and me. Today, we already explained what we were out here trying to do. Pedro Blanco, Good and Evil Branch, Adil. And today I'm with my name,
Wade Wilkins. Wade Wilkins.
Weird Wilkins. And we pretty much just want to ask a few questions, and sorry to bother you, man, and all of these lights and stuff like that. So, quick question. Could you let us know your situation?
My situation. All right. This 3 years ago, I had a head-on collision with my truck after a 10-hour day of work. Now, I subsequently lost my license. And didn't have a way to get back and forth to work. Called friends and everybody asked, try to get back and forth to work. Then evidently lost my job, and after I lost my job, everybody's like, "Oh, I'll give you a ride now," but after that, that's too late after that. And then a month later, 2 months later, I become awoken, and I had realized all the lies that this earth has led to, and all the lies that we have been told about where we have been raised and how to understand what we have been living in and on. And then I started. My daughter had an operation in her brain, and she had it scooped out. And when I talked to her on the phone, her voice was there, but her personality wasn't. So I started a quest to walk to New York, and I gave up everything. And I said, God, if you exist, then you say give up everything worldly, and you will take care of us. So I left for New York October 13th, and I started walking to New York. I made it to Baltimore, Maryland, and I didn't pace myself, and I started blowing my knee out. My knee started swelling. So I prayed, and I asked God to at least give me $50 to make it to New York. And 2 hours later, I was walking down the road, and this little Jewish guy almost hit me, and I had to smart enough to jump out the way to where he didn't hit me, but it was a real close call. So I walked up the street and stopped and sat down. And little did I know he was 2 cars parked up, getting his breath on what happened. And he saw me. He came out and he said, "Oh, I'm sorry." And I said, "No, it's fine. Don't worry about it." I said, "Jesus says to forgive 999 times if you have to." And I said, "Don't worry about it." And he's like, "Well, what can I do for you?" I said, "Well, if you have $1 spare, I get a drink at the next door." He said, "I'll give you all the money in my pockets," and it turned out to be $68. So it's enough to take the bus up to New York. And from Manhattan, I walked to where my daughter was. And during that whole time that I was walking everything, I was meditating and praying. And when I got there, I put my hands on her. She was back like that. Her personality was back like that. Now, I'm sorry. Now she is into the meditating, praying, the chakras and all that. And Jesus says, "Seek and you will find it." You seek it in your heart, and you seek for the answers. You will find it. It says, "God and Jesus in us, and we in Him. We're like all one consciousness." That's where Jesus says, "Turn over a stone, I'm there. Split a piece of wood, I'm there." And I mean, I can go on and on, but it's a lot. But thanks for listening.
You figured it'd be a great idea to give back to the less fortunate people that are just like us, but situations are different. You can be up one day and down the next, because life is real, but it's also what you make it.
Pedro Blanco has 2 more coats, so we're walking down the street, hoping we don't run into anybody, because we hope they're inside right now, somewhere, probably at a shelter or at a friend's house or somewhere warm, and not out here in the cold. But if we do run into someone, we would love to speak with them and find out more information about this, and just try to figure out a way that we could get this out to kind of like try to make an impact and to separate, people just falling down on hard times from people suffering with addictions such as alcoholism or drugs or anything like that, because that's what most people view our fellow, brothers and sisters in this situation. Today we're with Spike. So Spike, first off, my name's Big Sprint. We're interviewing, just going around getting people's stories and talking about some hardship and some stuff that affects a lot of American citizens, no matter what color you are, what race, or what, belief. A lot of things happen to a lot of people, and sometimes we forget about each other. Right. And that's all we're trying to expose here. So, Spike, tell us your story, Spike.
I come from Pennsylvania. Up here, tree climber by trade, Glory to my sister, she did try it stole one good thing in me. I was a bad boy growing up. I don't condone doing anything bad. Listen, education is first, always remember that. Coming from well, I'm not old, but I'm getting there. But I came to Virginia. I ended up homeless. Some of my own doing, because drugs are bad, trust me. I lived it. Leave the drugs alone. Children, always remember that. Leave the drugs alone. But I became homeless. And I had brought myself out of it. It took me 9 months to bring me out of it. I got my own apartment. I live right up here in Mayfield, Virginia. Right up here, and it's hard out here, especially being homeless. And I'm not a beggar. I don't ask nobody for nothing. I've always worked hard in my life. And always remember that. Work hard, and you can achieve anything you want to, from the gutter to the stars. That's what the world's about.
Now, when your homeless journey and you got yourself out of it, there's a lot of people we speak to that seem way older than you and way longer that we may not speak to, but we see from time to time, or people see. What did you have to do to get out of that situation? What besides work hard and have faith? What obstacles did you have to overcome? Did you have doubt? Did you have suicide thoughts? Did you have people give up on you thought were going to help you out? I mean, what kept you going, and what did you have to do to overcome those obstacles?
God.
God, that's simple as that.
I'm sorry, dude.
Simple as that.
God. I can't explain it no more.
A lot of people say that they when it comes to God, they can't explain it no more. God.
I mean, it is what it is.
So what religion would you consider yourself to be a part of?
God's son.
God's son? As simple as that. Just
Catholic,
having
no
faith.
Christian, no nothing. I believe in God.
And that's what kept you going.
It doesn't matter what brother, whether it be Jesus, Muhammad, or Allah, all religions are the same. We have one path, and that's to see our Father. It don't matter who brings us to our Father. That is our Father, and we will get there when we have to. We got to deal with our hardships out here in this world. Listen, there's a lot of hardships.
I completely understand.
I'm a 15-year-old vet right in prison. Not the war, prison. And I changed that life. I changed this life. You can always change your life with the path of God, dude, for real.
And that's good. And that's good. And quick question. What words would you have to other people in this situation that you see struggling with homelessness or addiction or anything like that? What words do you have to say to them? Not kids or anybody, but people around our age, your age. What words do you have to say to them that give them an extra piece of motivation?
Just one, most important, have faith. 2, stay true to who you are, what you are. Don't change for nobody, but for you. Because you can't change unless you change for you. You can't change for somebody else, right?
It'll never work out.
It doesn't happen. I've tried it millions and millions of times, and it doesn't happen. You got to do it for you. And always have love in your heart and forgiveness. Stubbornness is sometimes good, but trust me, it'll bite you right in the ass. Sorry about my language, but that's exactly what it'll do. You know, but always have love. That's my advice to everybody. Love is everything in the world. If you don't have love, you don't have nothing.
It's your boy Big Sprint. Always watching, always listening, and you're tuning out of Chilling with Fire Rants and also Chilling with
Spike.
And it was good meeting you, Spike.
You like that jacket, man?
Here, put your hand on your camera, man.
I keep it a kilo, I be around for kills. How you feel, little nigga? Tell me how you feel. How you feel, little nigga? Tell me how you feel.